welcome back to the channel. Hope you enjoyed the turbo series so far. So we're on to our next install, which is the intercooler piping up to the throttle body and up to where the turbo is going to be fitted. So I've ordered this set. It's universal 2.5 inch like tubing, which is perfect for my intercooler. So let's take this all out and unwrap some parts. Actually, we may as well leave these in there so they don't get scratched. But yeah, we've got two completely straight pipes. We've got two 90-degree pipes. Two, I think that's like 65 degrees. What do you reckon that is? I reckon 65 degrees, but let me know what you think. That, and then maybe 130, I'm guessing. Something like that, 130 degree bend pipes. We've got two of those as well. So two of each of those. A whole load of clothes? A whole load of clothes cap. Whole load of hose clamps. That's to sort basically attach everything together. And then we've got a whole load of silicone kind of couplers almost. So if we crack this open, what have we got in here? Now these look nice and shiny. But yeah, let's crack on, go down to the MX5 and start doing the intercooler piping.
So the things we're going to be using for this install is we're using a hacksaw, which we're going to use to cut the metal pipes. You could use an angle grinder for this, but I actually burnt something out inside of mine a while ago and it's broken, so I really need to invest in a new one of those. We've got some markers, so I've got a permanent marker and a chalk marker, just depending on one might be better than the other, so I've got both there. We've got a Stanley knife, and we've got two Phillips head screwdrivers, which is to adjust these clamps and to take off the clamps in the engine bed to get all of the other bits out of the way. We're going to have a 90-degree bend coming out of here with metal piping, then a silicone hose which is at 90 degrees here, and then I think it's a 65-degree bend, I'm not too exactly sure, I haven't measured it with a protractor, but another bend coming up into the engine bay. And then we can just work about the last little bit, just getting it to attach in to the throttle body, so that will hopefully work. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting some metal. So as you can see, we've got a normal silicone coupler coming out with a 90-degree bend, and right where it ends pretty much, just before there it is, we want to bend it up into the engine bay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut in, we'll work out where we're going to cut it. So you want another 90-degree bend, and that wants to go to right there. So we'll cut it about there. Let's get our pen out. Now I can't mark this and hold the camera, so what we're going to do is we're just going to mark it about here, but you'll see when I take it out. So far, this is the piece we've constructed, so it goes like that, so it comes out the intercooler, then goes around the front bit and then straight up into the engine bay. And this is pretty much oriented perfectly, so this is like this kind of in line, like straight in line with the throttle body hole, or the throttle body kind of intake pot. So hopefully we'll just need to sort of do another 90-degree bend. Maybe extend this a little bit more upwards, and we should be spot on there hopefully. So fingers crossed. Let's try to feed this in here. Let's touch it all on. I'm not hose clamping it together yet. And the only reason for that is so we've still got a bit of room. We can like wiggle like a centimetre in or out of the silicone, etc., just to get it to fit perfectly. But yeah, if we poke this under here, so I'm trying to show you actually, but I don't think I'm going to get the right angle. Let's take the camera off and I'll try one-handed. Cool, so basically poking this bit up under here between the radiator and the front sway bar, and just attach that on nicely like that. So that's attached in there. Just angle it up the right way. So that's perfectly in that. If we come up to the engine bay, you can see our pipe here, which is like seeping a bit just because it's like the weight on the silicone hoses is making a bend. but that is where it will be, just right there, which is perfectly in line with our throttle body out here. So we're going to go ahead and test that out. What I think we might have to do, in fact, also, is I might need to buy an adapter which will go from this size tubing to the throttle body, because that does look a bit bigger. Maybe it's 2.5 or 3 inches, I'm not 100%. But we'll get to that bridge once we pass it. Once we get it to like up here, then if it's not the right size, I can always get a coupler which is going to be perfect for that. So guys, I've come into a little problem, which is this hose here, which comes out of the intake kind of plastic tubing and goes into underneath the throttle body. To be completely honest, I don't know exactly what that's for. I don't know if I need to delete that, put in a bung, or like maybe even wire it up to the kind of new intercooler piping, to the new intake piping. But yeah, what I'm going to do is take a couple of pictures. I'm going to post them into an MX5 forum online and wait for an answer on that one. But yeah, whilst I'm doing that, we can work on the hot side of the intercooler piping. So now guys, we've got our cold feed pipe which goes all the way into the engine bay. Turbo's going to be about here, so we're about there. So we're going to basically mock that all up once the turbo comes from that part there. And then we've got our cold side that goes up to there. Still waiting for a reply from the forum. I very much presume, because all of the builds I see come straight out of here and go 90 down. And there's 2 pipes in the way. This one we're going to definitely need, so I presume we can get rid of this one, kind of plug it up, but I better wait for a proper response so I'll make sure I'm doing it all correctly. But yeah, that's the, I guess, bulk of intercooler piping. If we come down to the hot side of the intercooler, so we've got that. I need to angle it up a little bit more, but it comes out, focus, goes like there, 90 degree. So now we've got both our intercooler pipes pretty much mocked up. We're going to touch them on with the hose clamps. So I'm going to go ahead and attach all of those on. I'm not going to fully tighten them down until they're back on the car, just so we can adjust them into the perfect position. So now we've got the clamps on, both our intercooler pipes are pretty much done. Pretty cool shape as well, actually. But yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and attach them onto the car, tighten everything up, and then yeah, we're pretty much done with the front end. Hopefully we can start putting the bumper back on. So yeah, pretty awesome. So guys, we've completely piped both sides of the intercooler up into the engine bay, into pretty much their respective locations of where they're going to go for the final thing. But yeah, we're just going to wait till we get the rest of the parts for the hot side, where the turbo is, just so we can perfectly mount that up. No point trying to second guess it, getting it wrong and then buying more tubing in a couple of weeks once we get the turbo. It's just completely pointless and a waste of time. So we're going to leave it as that. In terms of the hot side, I'm going to wait until we find out what that tube is. And anyway, the car's running NA at the moment anyway, so there's no point plumbing it up to there, just to have to take it all off again. Like, I'll just wait till I've got it pretty much all ready, and then we can just do the final bend into the throttle body. But yeah, I'll show you what we've done so far today and what it looks like. So yeah, that's all for now, folks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this install of the Turbo MX5 build. In the next episode of this series in particular, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing our air fuel ratio gauge and our boost gauge into the MX5. But yeah, thanks for watching as always, guys. It's been loads and loads of awesome support on the channel over the last few weeks. That really means a hell of a lot to me, so I really wanted to thank you guys for that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Be sure to smash that thumbs up button, really helps me a lot. Subscribe down below, and until the next one, guys, adios.